You've given everything to someone who gave you nothing. You showed up, stayed present, tried harder. And still, you were invisible. This happens because when you give without limits, people take without gratitude. They assume you'll always be there. They stop seeing your value. But there's a way to shift this without begging, chasing, or explaining. 9 Stoic principles that make the person who neglected you suddenly see you, not through games, but through transformation. Stoicism emerged 2,000 years ago, yet it's more relevant now than ever. It teaches something modern culture forgot. Focus on what you control. Release what you don't. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." You stop chasing answers, you become the answer, and when you embody this silent strength, something shifts. You disturb, you activate fear of loss, you stop being predictable and become unforgettable. Before we continue, this is where most people quit. If you're still here, you're different. Subscribe to this channel, not for motivation, but for mental tools you can actually use. In a world of noise, we offer direction. In a world of distraction, we build discipline. Hit that subscribe button now. Let's continue. First principle, strategic silence. What destabilizes someone most isn't what you say, it's what you withhold. When you stop chasing, justifying, responding on impulse, you change the game. Silence used wisely reclaims your dignity, especially with someone accustomed to your explanations, your immediate availability, your unlimited attention. When you go silent without drama, without announcements, you force them to look inward. The one who thought they always had you nearby starts missing the noise you made just by existing. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nothing is as powerful as the silence of a man with a just cause." Silence creates space for thought, for unease, for realization of what's been lost. In a noisy world, those who master purposeful silence become unforgettable. Second principle, radical self-investment. Someone chasing recognition from those who ignore them inevitably loses themselves. The transformation begins when you stop wasting energy on those who don't see you and start prioritizing yourself. Not false focus designed for jealousy. True focus on your mind, body, projects, peace. When you treat yourself with priority, something shifts. This silent transformation without performance impacts the person who ignored you. They realize you no longer depend on them to feel whole. The Stoics taught true freedom comes from within. When you stop needing to be chosen, others start wanting to choose you. You move from begging for attention to inspiring respect. Third principle, controlled absence. Some people only understand your value when they feel the weight of your absence. Knowing when to exit without scandal, without exposed hurt, just peaceful withdrawal. Controlled absence isn't punishment. It's a silent message that you won't stay where there's no respect. Someone used to your constant presence feels the impact when you simply stop being there. Seneca said, "Sometimes to be noticed, you have to disappear." Disappearing with dignity provokes reflection. When you stop being available to someone who doesn't value you, you create a void even stubborn pride cannot fill. Fourth principle, zero emotional reaction. Want to confuse someone who thought they controlled you? Don't react. Don't explode. Don't beg. Stay calm. Someone used to your despair, your attempts to fix everything, doesn't know what to do when they encounter serenity. Zero emotional reaction isn't coldness, it's mastery. When you refuse to be thrown off center, the lack of control shifts sides. Your peace starts to bother them. Your maturity becomes a mirror. When you stop playing, the game ends. Fifth principle, silent self-esteem. Nothing is more magnetic than someone who loves themselves in silence, without fanfare, without needing to prove anything. When you genuinely respect yourself, that natural confidence shines. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Self-esteem changes the frequency of your presence. It makes you choose companions better. Move away from what weakens you. Get closer to what strengthens you. When you treat yourself as priority, the world does the same. Sixth principle: unbreakable boundaries. Nothing changes an unbalanced relationship more than the firmness of a boundary. When you decide what you no longer accept and uphold that decision, something powerful happens. Setting boundaries isn't pushing people away, it's protecting your peace. Stoic firmness does not bend to manipulation. Clear boundaries don't push away true love. They only filter out those unwilling to offer the same in return. Seventh principle: selective generosity. Being generous to everyone, including those who don't reciprocate, is an invitation to exhaustion. Selective generosity is about offering the best of you only to those who truly value it. Seneca said, "Generosity is a virtue, but it must be guided by reason." When you become discerning with whom you share your affection, people understand your presence is no longer guaranteed. Generosity loses the weight of obligation and gains the sparkle of choice. Eighth principle: powerful indifference. Few things dislodge someone more than the indifference of someone they once affected. But indifference is not contempt. It's emotional maturity. When you stop caring about what the person does, thinks, or says, the balance shifts. They lose control. Epictetus taught, "Don't spend energy trying to please someone who doesn't have the capacity to value you." Powerful indifference comes from awareness. Your peace is no longer for sale. Your attention will no longer be wasted. Ninth principle: unshakable self-confidence. There is no more irresistible posture than someone who knows who they are and acts from that place. When you develop true self-confidence based on inner worth, not external approval, you become emotionally independent. Marcus Aurelius said, "Self-reliance is not arrogance, it is wisdom." When you stop waiting for recognition and move with firmness, even those who ignored you before start to notice. You don't need to be chosen. You chose yourself. The one who underestimated you realizes they've lost access to someone who finally understood their own worth. These principles aren't about revenge. They're about transformation, about regaining control of your life and stopping the search outside for what can only be built within. When you practice strategic silence, invest in yourself, set boundaries, and nurture self-confidence, you change. And when you change, the world responds differently. Those who underestimated you feel it. Those who ignored you notice. Those who lost you regret it. But none of that matters anymore, because now you see yourself. You are enough for yourself. And that's exactly where true power lies. Living in peace without needing to be accepted, chosen, or validated by anyone. Now seal this with yourself. Write in the comments, "I choose myself." That statement is more than words. It's the declaration of someone who finally understands. Because the revolution that changes your life doesn't begin in noise. It begins in silence. Until next time.